What's going on, guys? Josh here from Momentum Productions, and today I'm going to show you how to properly manually focus while using a gimbal. Now, we're going back to the old school days. In today's video, I'm going to be using the Zhiyun Crane Plus gimbal. Today, we are learning how to manually focus, as I mentioned earlier, and that's basically going to help you out when you are shooting with a lot of foreground. There's a few clips right here that you can see. These were all shot using a gimbal and while using manual focus. Now, manual focus is going to be your best friend, especially when you're using foreground, because if you leave autofocus turned on while you have foreground in your shot, you are going to get a lot of that focus breathing or focus hunting. We don't want any of that because that's just amateur stuff. Honestly, if you're a filmmaker, you have to learn how to use manual focus before you even use autofocus, because a lot of the times autofocus will not help you out. So I'm gonna actually use my little planter back here as my foreground while we focus up on the background. And we're just gonna do some demo shots here, and I'm gonna teach you how to properly manually focus. Let's get into it. Now here's a prime example where autofocus does not work. Here is the foreground, which is the planter, and you can see how the camera is mainly focusing on this planter. It's keeping me blurred out or out of focus. And if I move around the planter, again, the camera does not want to focus up on me because it just can't detect it. It doesn't know what you want. So that's why we need to turn on manual focus. So for these shots, I'm going to be simulating a slider. So we're using the gimbal here to go from left to right or right to left. Now there are some specific tools that are built into the camera that will help you out with your focus, such as focus peaking. If you want to learn how to enable that on Sony Alpha cameras, check out this video right here because it will also show you how to use false color and other exposure guidelines. So that's a really good video and I strongly recommend that you check it out. All right, so now my camera's turned on. Now, first off, before you start moving your gimbal, you want to set your focus. So I want to focus on the piano back here. So we have the piano here. I have my focus peaking turned on, and I want to make sure that the piano here is highlighted in red because that's what focus peaking does. It makes sure that whatever's in focus is highlighted in red. So right here I have basically what I want in focus here. So now that we have the piano in focus, I can actually go ahead and start using the gimbal as a slider. I'm gonna go into lock mode, which will lock up the pan and the tilt axis, and that will actually help simulate a slider the best way. And I also like to shoot at 60 frames per second because in editing, you can slow down half speed, and that will get you smoother shots. Whenever you're shooting sliding shots, you always want to be nice, smooth, and slow. That's why there's nothing better than using a slider for these types of shots, and you can actually shoot in real time on a slider, whereas on a gimbal, it's a lot more difficult to do so because your hands might be going up or down. But I do realize that sometimes filmmakers need the versatility of a gimbal, so when you can, shoot in slow motion. All right, and now the beauty with lock mode is that you can always hand reposition the gimbal. See that? I can always reposition it. So feel free to do the shot multiple times and reposition it with your hand. And the fact that we don't have focus hunting happening in this shot, it makes it that much more professional. All right, let me show you another shot. All right, here's our next shot. I kind of feel like The Shining. Here's Johnny. Anyway, scratch that. I thought it was funny for a second, but you can actually see how the foreground is making the camera autofocus onto it and not onto me. Again, I'm out of focus. I'm not important. Apparently the pillars are more important than me, according to my camera. But anyway, besides the point, let's use this as another demo on how we can focus up and properly use manual focus. So basically we're getting that traditional slide movement through the pillars of stairs. This is a very common shot seen in a ton of Hollywood movies. And what we're gonna do, we're just gonna focus on the background. So here we are. We actually have the pillars out of focus, but let me just show you the difference here. I'm gonna focus up on the pillars, and then I'm gonna focus up on the background here. I'm gonna focus on the front door. But actually sometimes focusing on the pillars and blurring out the background looks really nice. So let's give that a shot. All right, so here we go. And I want to try and be level with the ground of the stairs. And again, I'm using lock mode. Lock mode allows me to get those more consistent slides. And just like that, guys, with enough practice, you're gonna get some awesome shots. Again, I do recommend holding your breath when you're replicating a slider, because when you're breathing, your chest expands and your shots aren't as stable. But again, even doing that, sometimes you're gonna have some inconsistencies in your shots, so make sure you slow it down at least 50% in post, and you'll be a lot happier with the result of the shot. Also remember to keep your feet grounded, your elbows tucked in, and your body huddled up like a ball. Now, I'm also trying really hard to bring you on a few of my professional shoots with my clients as BTS. It's still in the process. It takes a long time with some of my clients, so please, please, please be patient with me. Also, if you did enjoy this video, please give it a like and subscribe with those notifications turned on, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace!